Hi, I'm Steve Johnson. Welcome to Digital Works Television, and my guest today is Nathan Farmer, a systems engineering technology student at Calhoun Community College, second year. You already know stuff. All right, so that will prepare you, that your set major will prepare you to be a modeler, am I correct?
Yes, it will prepare me to do model-based systems engineering as a systems modeler.
Okay, so define modeler for us, just for all the people who might just accidentally catch this and not have a clue what that means.
So a model can be pretty much anything you want. We like to define it off of systems, and that can be really anything. You can take this table here and define that as a system. You can take that, go into a tool that we have called Cameo, and you can make a model out of that.
Okay, and by a model you can make all the parts fit to do all the things they're supposed to do. We're going to talk, but we should go ahead and get it out of the way that you're going to go ahead after you finish at Calhoun and go to a four-year school and become an engineer. We're going to talk more about that in a moment, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the modeling major. Your second year, so, and I said you had to learn stuff. So the first one is, how did you even choose to get into modeling, the modeling major?
So that's actually really funny, is I didn't really choose. I went to my advisor at Calhoun. I knew that I wanted to do something with computer science and with computers, and I saw the 3 degrees we had. I saw cybersecurity, I saw a computer science, and I saw our SET degree. And I asked them about the SET degree. They told me a little bit about it, and I said, I'll just declare that as my major.
So have you had any regrets?
No, absolutely not. No, I have found it to be exactly what I wanted, because it incorporated just the right amount of, hey, here's the technical, but also we, as modelers and systems engineers, we're also there to communicate between the other engineers and management.
So you're learning to work in a team doing this, but you're also learning to, like a boss hands you a project, you're learning to work with that team to do a project. That, I'm assuming, not something you knew how to do before you got into this major.
No, not at least at this level.
Okay.
It's been a very big eye-opener to get this kind of level of degree. Okay. So what's the most fun thing? And I mean, it's maybe some people don't think of education as being fun, but if you're doing something you like, education is fun. So I'm assuming this has been a fun time for you at Calhoun. Yes, sir.
Okay, what's fun about it? What do you like? And I can't wait. We're going to do some cool stuff today.
I really enjoy the system. Like, I really enjoy being able to take, hey, anything. They often talk about how it's kind of like an art. There's always going to be a purpose behind it. There's always going to be something to display. And so with systems engineering, you can do anything you want with it. I really find that as a useful tool, because it takes the creativity of the person and it says you can do whatever you want with this. I know of a friend of mine. They took the modeling tool and they modeled an entire company. They took the hierarchy of how the structure would work, how people would relate to each other, and they put that into a model.
Okay, so one of the things that I know, and I sat in on a class or two, one of them was about systems thinking, which I'm sitting there going, I wanted to raise my hand, and I'm not an engineering student. But the whole idea, I mean, systems thinking is something we all do by accident anyway. But kind of formally talking about what it is, that's kind of a big deal for whatever you do, isn't it?
It was a really big adjustment in my first semester to think it was like, oh, this is something actual degrees do, and not just how people think. It was also a really big adjustment to understand is like, not everyone thinks this way. Not everyone is the systems kind of thinking, an engineering type of person. Okay,
so you said what you liked about it. Is there been any part? We'll talk about what you don't like in a second, but has there been any part that's been hard for you at all, that you came into it? And one of the things about college, any college, is you have ideas about things, and those ideas are sometimes not accurate. Was there anything that you Okay. I've got to. This is tough. I've got to get my mind to think this way.
Yeah. Well, for the degree, I didn't really have any expectations going in, so it didn't really shatter any of my expectations. But I have had trouble wrapping my mind around some areas in the tool and some ways to do certain things. Simulation is one of those things.
Okay, in the tool, that
Yeah.
is the program or whatever you call it that you use when you're actually doing a project.
So yes, we use something called Cameo, and in this Cameo, it's called Magic Draw. In it, there's a tool that we use called SysML. It's actually a language. Many of the programming languages use things like C++.
Yeah.
So these languages are taken into the tool, and it's basically object-oriented programming in a model that we can look at a 2D display.
Okay, so you can create using this tool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's got to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's you had a little bit of trouble figuring out how to do that?
Yeah, it's just certain types and certain ways of modeling, like taking a few different diagrams and integrating them to all be part of one and simulate all at the same time. That's been part of my struggle, but I really enjoy the systematical breakdown of the operating systems.
Okay, has there been anything in the classes that you did not like, that you think?
Not that I think of. No,
really?
I really enjoyed this program. It has been a kind of a breath of fresh air for school. High school, I kind of hated school. So when I came into college, this was like one, they actually want us to do this. They want us to get the understanding of the knowledge, and they also want us to have fun with it.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, I sat in a class and I wanted to raise my hand. Okay, you decided, in fact, you kind of went into this after you, on a whim, picked the major. You were already thinking about becoming an engineer. Mm-hmm. Could you tell me how going through well, first of all, let me drop back a second. A lot of your fellow students, I would say maybe most of them are still planning to be set modelers. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. What do they think about you going on to become an engineer?
Well, so that's most of our goal currently is to go from set modeling to going on to a 4-year degree. Okay. I can think of one or two other students that they're thinking about just stopping at modeling, but most of us we're all looking at, hey, what's the next step after this? Okay. Where do we go forward? With
the modeling, would you have been cool if the modeling? I mean, you're already thinking about being an engineer, but well, you know what I'm saying. Would you have been cool if modeling was it? I mean. Sounds like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. This degree, it's teaching us stuff that over at UAH they have a master's level program that starts to get into some of the stuff that we're doing. Yeah. And it's really interesting because when we talk about, hey, what's the next step? Some colleges don't actually even have a model-based systems engineering program. It's such a new thing that the stuff that we're being taught is being taught at higher levels than other colleges.
Well, it's funny because at UAH, I know that one professor who's working on nuclear propulsion, his modelers are doctoral students.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. His modelers are doctoral students, and my assumption is that a student from Calhoun could step in and do that work. Yeah,
some of the understanding of the system would be a little bit difficult, but I mean, if it's modeling, it shouldn't be that hard.
Okay. All right, so you're going to go on to a 4-year school and become an engineer. How does the modeling, what you've learned and what you're going to learn before you finish, going to set you up for that?
Well, it will set me up pretty well, I would have to say, because it gives us an expectation for what the workforce should be like. Yeah. The whole set degree and all of our classes have been really structured to be modeled after the workforce. Yeah. So our 2 classes that we're doing this semester, this is the senior semester that we're in, our 2 classes, they're kind of both structured like, hey, this is a job. Our teacher, he gives us a project and says, you have this long to do this. Yeah. Work amongst yourself, work together, work as a team, and get it back to me.
Okay, so systems engineering.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what you want to be as a systems engineer?
Yes, sir.
What about that appeals to you? You can remember mechanical, electrical, all these things, but it kind of feels like systems engineering is where it's at right now.
Well, the nice thing about systems engineering is you get to work at a higher level and be on more of a broad scope.
Yeah.
You don't have to be under one specific subject.
Yeah.
You can work with the mechanical engineers. You can work with the electrical engineers to create a system that works together.
Okay. All right, so you're going to go on and become an engineer, and I can tell you're excited. I'm assuming you've made good grades, and that's not a problem. But what would you, if you were, say you ran into some young man or young lady who is a senior at a local high school, or just somebody you know that's trying to figure out what they want to do in college, would you recommend
yes,
Calhoun
I would.
courses?
I have before.
Okay.
There have been a few people that I know that they've asked me, is like, hey, I'm not really sure what I want to do, and I've heard that you do something with modeling.
Yeah.
Could you tell me more about that? And I'd proceed to show them. First, I'd show them my model and things like this, and I'd show them how I would do it and how I work it. But also to explain how Calhoun operates with it.
Okay.
There have been a few people in Calhoun who they're just taking their gen eds, and I'm like, hey, take a look at this.
Yeah.
At least take a look.
Gen eds just means they're just going taking classes. They're not.
Yeah. The whole point is when I give it to them is like, hey, you don't have to just throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
But at least look into it. Don't pass it over like it's nothing.
Okay, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but one of the advantages for the courses at Calhoun and the becoming a set modeler is that math isn't a big deal, isn't a big requirement. Computer savviness is, but my assumption is you are and were, and pretty much everybody coming out of high school is. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Okay. Are there students in the set program who discover that math isn't this horrible thing they thought it was?
Yeah. If we want to go to a 4-year degree, there's a little bit more requirements for a higher level of math. But for our degree, I think it's like Math 110, which is it's finite math. Or it might be Math 100, which is intermediate algebra, but it's not difficult. It's like high school level math.
Okay.
And some of my other college co-workers, I guess I could say.
Fellow students.
Fellow students, thank you. They were shocked to see how little of a requirement they had for our math.
Okay, so you're a fan. You would recommend it, and do recommend it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck finishing your year with straight A's, I'm sure, and going on to be an engineer.
Thank you.
All right, Nathan Farmer, thank you. And thank you for watching Digital Works TV. And remember, it works.